Okay, what we
Seriously,
hello.
what the hell, guys?
Okay, what the hell?
You were
What?
like, oh, we don't really
have a fancy intro at all. It looks like it was produced in a movie studio.
Whitney did that. It's
That's my
the
pride
best
and
thing.
joy. I'm not
Hey,
gonna lie.
that's really
Really
cool.
good.
That's a great intro.
Thank you.
It's so cute.
You're
Every
welcome.
week after I see it, I'm like, oh my God, I love it.
That's how
Like
I
we
am
don't
with
see
Keith's-
it all the time.
Yeah, that's how I am with Keith's song, our intro song.
Oh, that's
I'll
a
just
good
be
one.
like at work singing it.
Oh my God.
G Dressel.
I dreamed that song. It was weird. That
Yeah, you
song popped
did.
in my head one day, and I went back to my piano and started playing it, and then recorded it.
Thank you guys for having us on.
Yeah, thank you very much. We
Thanks
appreciate
for coming
it. Honor.
on.
Yes.
Oh, well, I guess we should like introduce you. You know, like again, remember how I said we don't have any
that's
sort
fine.
of structure? Here we are.
It's
Yeah.
neither here nor there.
Just
Hey, we
jump
don't
in.
either.
It's fine.
We don't either.
Okay, so this is Garrett and Keith from Life Afterlife, the show,
Mhm.
not to be
Yes.
confused with the actual event of Life Afterlife.
Right.
Yes.
Sometimes.
Well,
You're like, we're not there yet. Not
No.
there.
Yeah, no.
let's hope it's a little ways before we get there.
Yeah. So tell us about you guys. What's your show about? Who are you guys? What
How
y'all
you're
into?
related.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
called we are. This is my son-in-law, Garrett.
This is my great father-in-law.
You're fantastic. great
Fantastic.
father-in-law.
Fantastic father-in-law.
But no, we a couple of years ago, I always watched true crime stuff, and I watched ghost stuff, and I had like paranormal things happen to me since I was about 15. But I never had anybody to talk to, and so my first thing was I wanted to find, even if I could get people together at a library or something, or a coffee shop. I even went in Craigslist, tried to put a group together where we could all talk about this kind of stuff, right?
Mhm.
And no one wanted to talk
She
about
said,
it.
"Oh."
I know.
This is a sad
you-
story.
you knew-
Yes.
Yeah.
But now look at us.
You knew the end result already,
Yeah.
right? That was the end result. So then I go on and I try it again, and this guy actually put, "Yeah, good luck with that. No one gives a damn about ghosts,"
Oh my God.
And so
But
I
lo
was,
and behold,
yeah. So
someone
I'm
doesn't give a damn about ghosts.
right. So I'm thinking,
So many people give a damn
So
about
many.
ghosts.
I know,
Yes.
right? But nobody locally wanted anything. They made fun of it. But so I thought, you know what? I'm just going to try this with YouTube. And so I was thinking, what's a good name? I wanted something kind of clever. And so I thought of Life Afterlife. I thought Afterlife is one word.
Mhm.
So that's cool. And we'll call, and because actually we weren't going for YouTube live shows. We originally started out as a podcast. And in fact, we need to change the name, but
Yeah, what's wrong with you?
I know. But so I came up with a name, and we would do it on my little podcaster thing here, and then we would upload it to YouTube, and people would listen. Well, my cousin came on, and she goes, "Well, we really want to see you guys." And then I had a couple
Wait.
we started a Facebook page, and people said, "Well, we'd like to see you guys," and I was like, "I don't want you to see me."
That's a good thing about podcasting.
Yeah, especially doing live podcasts, because you never know what's going to happen. I mean, if you go back and watch some of our early stuff, there's
So
the
funny,
biggest
dude.
screw ups, technical problems. At one time, we had a delay that went on and on for 3 minutes.
Well, I literally thought I was losing my mind.
Yeah, it was horrible.
It sounded like 50 of us were talking.
Yeah, like 50
Oh.
people talking all at the same time. But anyway, so I'm sorry, I'm drawing this out really long. So basically, I
fine.
put this thing together. I had an interest in true crime, and I said, Garrett, let's see if we can add true crime in this somewhere. And when we did that, I think did we start out with Delphi?
We jumped right in with
We jumped
Delphi.
in.
We were like,
We
hey,
went-
this is a great idea.
We went from about 300 views to about 6,000 views
Nice.
in about a week.
Wow.
Just talking about Delphi. So every show we did on Delphi, it's still growing. I mean, I think we got one. Is it over 10, 11, and maybe 13,000, something like that.
Wow.
But that one was
Um,
crazy because that's when we brought Matt Sullivan on, and also
Yeah, we
there was
brought-
like 275 people in the chat. And
Oh,
and Keith
holy
were like,
crap,
dude,
I
it was
was
not.
insane.
Yeah, in fact,
It was
we
insane.
did one 2 months ago. Usually our chat room's about 25 people, something like that.
It's like a classroom.
It's like a classroom.
We love it.
You're
Yeah.
like, it's easy
But
to
it's-
manage.
It's perfect. Yeah. I love it. Yeah.
And so the last show we did about Delphi, I'm pointing at the screen going,
What the
holy shit,
hell?
that's just 200. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cuss.
It's fine.
250 people are in here.
Yeah.
And we
Dead.
yeah, and so I only had like one moderator, right? Or two
Yeah.
moderators.
And they were
So-
overwhelmed and we're like, don't do that to us again.
Yeah,
Right.
because and I'm not insulting or putting anybody down, but Delphi, as we talked about earlier, it brings out the nuts. It brings crazy
Yeah, yeah.
It
people
does.
out.
It's very controversial.
I would get phone calls at 2 a.m. from people who actually lived in Delphi saying they knew who the killer was. You know, they were like drunk off their butt. And my phone it went off all the time with people going, I know who it is. That's that guy that lives down the street from me. You know, and
I love that voice.
and it's like,
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
well, how do you know that? Well, he wears a hat. You know,
Hey,
so you would get that kind of stuff all the time. And so
we had to be like so on guard though, because like Keith's really about the details too. I think he has a fear, like, because of the Delphi, right? We have like
you
a bit of
can't get a
PTSD.
date wrong or they will scold you. You can't miss anything or you'll get scolded.
We're going into like episode 3, and I look over at Keith, and he has this hat that he's owned forever, and it seriously looked like the bridge guy. I was like, dude, absolutely not. We have to change your hat.
Well, see, look,
Because we were scared though.
I lived in New Jersey,
Mhm.
and everybody wore flat caps, and I had
flat
a
cap.
brown leather flat
Love
cap.
it.
I've worn it for years and years.
As long as I've known him.
And then we kind of noticed one time I put it on, I was like, oh, this might be in bad taste. I don't know. But I mean,
Oh,
it's to
God.
the
but it's
point,
what I wear anyway.
But it's to the point of like that case specifically is that we were like getting to the point where we even had to worry about those kind of things. Like, dude, you don't want to wear that hat because
They'll be putting
they're
my
gonna come
picture,
out, right?
comparing it to
All
the
of a sudden,
sketch.
He's just gonna be the
I'm
bridge guy.
the new bridge guy.
Yep.
And
They
but
will
so
run
anyway,
with it.
long story short, we put this thing together, and we've been doing it for we did a year, 2020 of October, 2021.
Yep.
So we're going on to the second year.
Nice.
Okay.
So,
You guys
it's been a
started
lot of-
around the same time we did then.
Mhm.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, we were September 2020.
Yeah.
Oh, right on,
September
right on.
2020.
Perfect.
Mhm.
Yep.
Cool.
Awesome.
So we're newbies, but not newbies. All
I
together.
know. We're getting the hang of it now.
Oh,
We feel
yeah,
like
for
we're in a
sure.
groove.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You guys
Takes
have
a
a
while.
great show.
So Keith, you have all daughters, correct?
Yes. No. Well,
And
no.
then-
I have a boy.
Oh, you do? Oh, okay. I thought
Yeah.
you had all daughters.
I have all
Okay.
daughters.
He has all daughters.
And you have all daughters.
Ah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, we have all boys.
We have all boys.
See,
Oh, really?
I'm one of 4 boys.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Bless your parents.
Yeah, my mom's super excited about having all granddaughters. So
Oh,
Hey,
I bet.
My son's been easy. I mean, boys to me are easy to raise.
I agree.
That's all I can say. Like
Except
my
they
son.
cost a lot to feed.
Yeah.
oh
Yeah. Yeah. Like
definitely.
like my son, I can ask him to do
Sure, Dad.
yeah, sure, Dad, I'll do
No
it.
problem.
With my daughters, I have to get my attorney,
Oh
and
my gosh.
we have to justify why you need to take that cup from the living room to the kitchen because Katie put it there. I didn't put it there, Dad.
Oh my
Yep.
god.
Yeah, and with Dylan, if I asked Dylan, hey, would you lift the car up for me? Just try so I can change
Sure,
the tire.
Dad.
Yeah, you bet, Dad, no problem. So
Where is he in the birth order?
he's the youngest.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's the baby.
We're ending on a good note. No offense, Taylor.
Yeah, she's in there listening.
Babies are the best.
Thank
saying.
you.
Yes.
I'm also
Because
a
I'm
baby.
the baby.
Yes.
Right.
Awesome.
It's because they stop when you're the baby. They've created the perfect child because then your parents have stopped having kids.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
That's right.
I retired, man. I'm done. I started
Yeah.
doing the math on it, and I was like, nah, I want to be done right now.
Something's not calculating.
Yeah,
right.
yeah. Yeah,
However,
exactly.
we run those numbers, it's not working out.
Right. No, absolutely. Hey, I was going to ask you guys a question really fast, if you don't mind. I was going to ask you about the Maura. Did you follow the Maura Murray case at all?
Yeah, I did more than Melissa, I believe.
Yes.
I'm
yes.
just now getting into it.
We're gonna do a
Okay.
show on it in 2 weeks.
So I wanted to
Love
know,
it.
I wanted to get your,
So
Very good.
her sister has a TikTok that I just saw today, and she goes over the timeline, like every
Yeah.
call. I just
Julie's
saw it
killing
today.
it. Julie's taken a tip from
I
Sarah
heard that.
Turney's playbook here, and she's doing absolutely everything she can. If you're looking for material, there is no one who has covered it more thoroughly than Missing Maura Murray, which is from the Crawl Space Network,
right.
Okay.
Crawl Space Media. Tim and Lance. Maggie Freeling helps with that.
Yes, I saw that.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's a good.
It's an
in-depth.
amazing in-depth podcast. I think they're on like 150 something episodes about it.
Wow.
Oh my
It's
God,
very,
that's
very
Whoa.
deep.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
wow. That's very deep episode.
Yeah, that's insane.
And there's a show. I think they did a show with, is it the Oxygen? Maybe.
Yeah,
Peacock.
Oxygen. Yeah, now it's on Peacock.
I watched the one on
Okay.
Peacock. That's
It's
just
the
I
same
haven't
one.
watched
Yeah.
it.
That's
it's,
what
oh my
Maggie-
God, Melissa, it's great.
I'm writing it down because I haven't had a show.
It's
in
one of the
forever.
best things I've seen. I mean, because we
I'll text you.
researched it quite a bit,
Okay, thank
and
you.
I watched it on Peacock, and I was like, this hands down is really good because they go in real deep too.
I had no
They
idea.
talk to the
about it.
dad. They talk to lots of
Right.
folks.
Yeah. It's another one of those strange cases though, where like something I think scared her more outside and forced her into a deadly situation. I mean, kind of like
Oh.
what was the guy that they just found possibly his remains?
Brandon.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Brandon. Right. I think we talked about that on our show with you guys, that there
Yeah.
was something that like made him flee out there. Right. And so that's why it's intriguing. I wanted to ask you guys about
I
it.
don't know. I think she had a lot of problems. I think there's a lot more problems mentally going on with that girl than a lot of people knew.
I mean, we know that she was struggling
For
with
sure.
something.
Yeah. And
There's
think
a lot of theories with Maura, more theories with Maura than there was
Yeah.
with Brandon.
right.
Maura, I mean, they think that they've spotted her in Canada.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They think she did run away. So
And
there's a
maybe-
lot.
There is.
It's-
There's
yeah.
a lot to unpack there for sure.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think my theory is she just succumbed to the elements. I think she went out and just kept walking.
We were having a lively debate about this because we're talking about Brandon's case as well. And like
Mhm.
Keith was saying, it was found this far away. And I was like, man, yeah, it's right. Because, with Maura, you would think that you would find some clothing or something at some point. But he pointed out, same thing with Brandon. How long was he missing?
8.5 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think we're going on 13 years with Maura, maybe longer.
Yeah.
How old do they know how old the remains are on the body they found?
On the remains that they
Could
found.
they kind of tell by? I mean,
Brandon's
was it
case.
skeletalized?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Other than that, they have not released anything like literally every
information.
day.
And so
We're just like, come
Both
on.
of you both of you believe that it's not him, right?
No,
No,
we believe
we
it's him.
believe
Oh,
that
okay.
it's
Okay.
him.
Yeah. I do too. I think
Yeah.
it's like
No, definitely.
okay. Yeah.
It would be way too coincidental for
Really.
the items of clothing that we
Yes.
found of his and then remains to be found, 400
Mhm.
yards away
Right. For
in
sure.
this terrain that there was nothing else, zero
For
trash.
sure.
There's no way that
There was no other evidence of humans being on this property. There was not a beer can, a glove from a hunter, a hat,
Yeah.
a nothing. We found one baseball cap that was up closer to the road,
Yeah.
the highway, that could have blown off of someone's vehicle.
Yeah.
And that was it. Nothing else was found out there. And for it to be the exact items that he was last known to be wearing, the same shoe size,
Jeez.
in my mind, heart, juju, whatever you want to call it,
Yeah.
there's no way it could be anyone else.
What was
Yeah,
the feeling?
I
So
agree.
you guys came across those items, right?
Yes.
Mhm.
What was like? What was it like? What was the feeling? I mean, was it ominous? Was it
Everyone
like,
keeps asking
Sanity?
us that, and there's not words to describe it.
did you know immediately?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Within like seconds. It was
Wow.
Oh my god.
when
dude.
it came to the shorts, they were definitely sun bleached for being out there so long. So
Right,
it was
right,
white.
right.
And he was actually wearing camo shorts that day, MMA style.
yeah,
And we
They were
kind of just
inside
like
out.
they were inside out as well. So we kind of
Oh,
just like
man.
took a stick, moved it up slightly because we didn't want
Right.
to tamper with it, but we
Right,
needed
for
to
sure.
see what
Right.
it was. And you can tell underneath it was the camo. And about that same time, another member found a shoe. And so it just
Mhm.
happened all really quickly, trying to like keep people with the stuff without touching it so that
Right,
we
for
can figure
sure.
out our next moves.
And I mean,
Wow.
you're immediately the adrenaline kicks in,
Oh my
and it was.
gosh.
We were like, okay, this has to be it. One member's calling, the private investigator and law enforcement, and I'm like, I feel like I'm gonna throw up. Everyone's like, I
felt-
think I'm gonna
Yeah.
throw up.
Right.
It's
We're like,
you just
don't contaminate anything.
yeah.
Right.
But and then it all hits you at once that we found something that has nothing has
Really
been found,
important.
not a shred of evidence, not a piece of clothing, not a piece of trash, not a key, not a shoestring. Nothing had been found until this moment, and so your heart starts racing,
Wow.
and then you have to wait for law enforcement
Forever.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure.
for hours.
Yeah. It was
That
what,
must-
2 weeks? we knew what we found the 15th of January, and then we were told by Texas Rangers not to release anything until
Danny
they
came on our
conducted.
show.
Yep.
Because they didn't want like civilians, other people
sure.
going out there and trying to
sure.
find stuff. So
Until they were
We're-
able to do their search.
it was the longest 2 weeks of our lives. We're
That
like,
is
when are they going to
bananas,
go? When
man.
are they going to go?
I mean, we didn't even know that it was going to take that long. We assumed it'd be
Yeah.
like the next day there would be a group, a whole group
Posse.
of people out there
Yeah.
searching.
Well,
but
because
then
it was a Saturday, and so the Texas Ranger was like, "Oh, Monday's gonna get things
Yeah, they've all
rounded up."
rolling.
We thought,
For
okay,
sure.
maybe by Tuesday, Thursday
Yeah.
it'll happen, but it took a while.
And yeah, there
Oh,
was some
man.
other within the I think within the Rangers department, someone passed away due to COVID, I believe, and so
Yeah.
that pushed things back.
For
They had to
sure.
wait for a bigger search party, and weather was off and on out there, and finally on February 1st they were able to go out there, and we were told they were going out that day, and I
Pins
think
and
we were
needles.
told around lunch, and then around 7 o'clock we got a phone 5 or 7, it was in the evening. We got a phone call that said something had been found.
That's
Mhm.
Man.
And then we waited from that moment until the family released it, just for privacy of the family. And once his wife, Ladessa, well, now ex-wife, common law wife, I don't know what proper
I know.
term
I
you're
don't know
supposed
what
to use in this situation.
Yes.
Once the family
Widow?
released information, then we
Wow.
did.
So how bad did you want to blab?
Well, I think to the people that we were like closest with, a few podcasts, we were about to go on tour,
Right.
and we really wanted to tell them because we were having meetings
That
with
would be
them a
so
lot.
hard, you
It was
guys.
so hard.
And they knew we were going on this search because
Yes.
we were in
Right.
contact with them every week, and they asked. They said, "How'd it go?" And we're like, "Great, let's talk
was-
about the tour."
Yeah. We're like, it was
Yeah.
really cold out.
Yeah, it was very cold.
Yeah.
My face is still chapped from the wind, but let's move on. Like
Yeah.
we had to quickly move on from the information, and then we were concerned that the information would come out while we were on tour. And the day
Yeah.
it happened, we called them first, and we were like, "Hey guys, see, there's Eric. He's
That's
in
our
here. He was on
friend.
tour with
Eric.
us. That's our buddy."
hey.
We
Oh,
had to
Eric.
tell them early that this is what happened.
Eric has a sort of paranormal-ish podcast. He
Yeah.
has
Oh, cool.
2.
Sure.
Um,
Come on the show then, Eric.
Yeah,
Eric.
it's Dos Bucanos.
Interesting.
And it
Yeah.
covers just paranormal, or is it crime
Uh,
as well, or what is it?
That one is like skinwalkers. It's
And
Oh, I love
like
it. Skinwalker Ranch.
Cryptids, is that what they're called?
Interesting.
Cryptics?
Yeah.
Cryptids?
Crypto.
it's-
Yep.
Yeah, I think they've done like Chupacabra.
that
Oh,
kind of
cool.
stuff.
So that's like Bigfoot,
Monsters.
Chupacabra, all the
Mhm.
monsters out there.
Is it cryptids? What is the proper term?
I think it's cryptids. I think.
Oh,
All paranormal.
All paranormal.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh,
Oh, very
sweet.
good. Very good.
I'm in, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, Eric, hit us up, man.
For sure.
Yeah.
Love to have you on.
Hey, I was gonna just mention earlier, you know how we were talking about the I keep getting this mixed up. Is it Burger Chef murders? We're talking about botched investigations like early on.
Oh my
right?
God.
Like this is literally when you guys research this case at some point, you're gonna be dumbfounded.
It's gonna be the
literally
most
biggest negligence.
Gross negligence handling of an investigation from law enforcement,
Guess what
probably in
state?
history.
Guess what state?
And guess what state?
Just guess.
I think it's like Missouri.
No,
In
wrong.
that
Indiana.
Indiana.
Yep,
Oh,
Indiana,
okay.
same as Delphi.
Mhm.
Oh wow.
Whoa. So yeah, it's literally it's unbelievable.
Have you guys ever watched South Park?
Yes. Well,
Okay.
yes.
I
Okay.
mean, it's not like I watch it on the
But do you know
regular.
the characters on South Park?
Yes.
I know.
But do
Like
you know
Kenny.
what
Oh my God, they killed Kenny. I know that.
Okay, yeah, Officer Bar Brady, the guy that talks like this, guys.
Oh yeah.
Okay, that's
Yes.
pretty
Yeah.
much the same type of person who handled the Burger Chef case.
Oh.
This is how bad it is. Should I just tell
Yeah,
them?
tell him. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
so-
tell us.
Okay, let me
Yeah.
just tell you.
Give
Okay,
us
so
the spiel.
okay, so anyway, there's 4 people at this restaurant. One of the guys who works there promised he'd come by and help them close. Which I worked in fast food, did the same thing.
Sure.
So he goes by there. It's about midnight. He notices the back door's open. He walks in. He's yelling for the people. No one's answering. He notices the safe is wide open. Cash is gone. Cash door's open. All the cash is gone. So he says, "Well, we better call
Back
the
door's
police."
open. Back door's left
Back,
open.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
He went through
yeah,
the back door, and the back door in a fast food restaurant or any restaurant,
gotcha,
that's a
yeah.
big no-no at nighttime. You always have that
Mhm.
shut. So he called the law. The police come in, they look around, and they go, well, I bet probably the kids all just took the money out and probably went out and go have a good time party. And they went and they left. Wasn't even a crime scene. And
Oh,
so
crap.
They opened.
yeah. And so the next morning, the Burger Chef Corporation calls the police and say, hey, do you need to investigate or anything? He goes, no. He goes, we think your worker just took off with some of the money and it probably just went out to to party or whatever. And so they went ahead and opened. So the morning crew comes in, they mop the floors, they wipe the tables down, they clean everything up.
Start cooking up food.
Then the parents call the police officers about, I don't know, in the afternoon saying, hey, they didn't come home. So they call the police. So the police is like, holy, did you guys take pictures or anything? And the cop goes, no, we just left. And so then they go back, they shut it down, and they try to recreate everything, how they saw it the night before, and they start taking pictures. Like one guy, how they got busted on that was one of the guys goes, hey man, wasn't there like a Coke cup sitting on that table when we came in? Yeah. Okay, go get a cup, put some Coke in it, and put it on the table. So he goes, gets Coke, puts it on the table. He takes the pictures, and then the chief asks him, hey, I need those crime scene photos. So he brings them to the chief. Chief's looking at him. He goes, there's something funny about this picture. And the guy's like, what? And he goes, there's ice still in this cup. He said, there wouldn't be ice still in this cup. And so the cops came clean and told him, well, we didn't take pictures. We just thought the kid,
Yeah.
I believe that's illegal. Fabricating evidence.
Yes, that's absolutely correct. It is illegal. And so anything like, I worked in fast food when I was a teenager, and I was even telling Garrett, you could have got a shoe print because grease is all over the floor, right? And I remember walking around when I'd mop the floors, it's like I would be mopping up people's shoes who worked there, or who was in the back. And I thought, okay, we missed fingerprints, we've missed all sorts of things. And so I've never heard of that. And what I don't get is even if the employee stole that money, that's still a crime scene.
That's what I was going to say too. Like, well, you need to go after the kids.
Yes.
Right. And you would even thought Burger Chef would have said, well, did you find them yet? I'm sure they'd want to press charges.
Right.
So it's still a crime scene, but I've never heard of anything like that in all the time I've studied crime.
Well, and there was definitely 4 people were kidnapped, right? For 3 high school kids, and then one 20.
One was adult. Yeah.
Well, 20, yeah. And so, which then leads you to believe that there's probably more than one suspect, right? So we're talking about 6 people inside of one place.
Least.
Yeah, at least
minimum.
6 people, right? Minimum
Yeah.
6 people. So we all know, like, love and true crime and stuff, the more people, the more evidence, more likely there is evidence to be laying around. So yeah, it's just a super bizarre case. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, and it's like I said, I still can't wrap my head around. Why didn't they kill him there? What happened? I'm just wondering what happened that they had to kill the kids, and it just doesn't make any sense.
Were those police officers fired?
I have not heard that. No, in fact, the chief of police put a statement out. He said, my officers did a very good job on that. They did.
Then he needs to be fired too.
They did what they thought. They thought the kids left, and so they didn't treat it as a crime scene. And he backed them. Yeah, he actually backed these cops.
He had to. Otherwise,
ISP
from his standpoint, excuse me, he doesn't have to, but I'm sure on the
Indiana State Police had been furious.
Maybe
you don't. Well,
I'm just kidding.
You better hope there's no Delphi people in here when you just said that. No,
you gotta be careful.
Yeah. So yeah, it's just unbelievable. I've never, in any time that I've ever read a book about crime, I've never seen that.
Yeah.
I don't care if your employee stole; it's still a crime scene.
No, absolutely.
Yeah, there's some. I just covered, which comes out like next week, a case, and it's absolutely I don't even think it's neglect. I think some crazy stuff went wrong with the police. And normally I'm complete like, okay, it's not really a cover up, but it's the case of Kara Stops Pretty Places. That's her name. She's Native American up in Montana. It's insane case.
And it comes
Go
out
on
next
the rundown.
week?
Yeah, it comes out on Monday.
Yeah,
Monday.
give us the rundown.
Yep. Give us the skimmy on it.
It's probably one of my longest ones, but quickly, she's an 18-year-old Native. American, and she's kind of out partying. It's the last day of like kind of her summer vacation.
Mhm.
She was with a few friends. Boyfriend and a girlfriend like started fighting in the middle of the night. The boyfriend was like restraining the girlfriend. Then they thought like police were coming, so they all just kind of scattered at this point.
And to me, this is a super normal thing because I grew up in a small town where there was underage drinking in a pasture. If police came, you all
Sure.
ran in different directions. Like
Right,
it's not
right.
uncommon, you know?
Yes.
Right.
So she runs one area and the other three run other places. Eventually, they all come back. She doesn't. Her aunt reports her missing, but then law enforcement say, no, you can't. It's way too early, which is a total lie. They actually, like, according to like Montana law, they had to have put her in the system, the NCIC, within 2 hours because
Mhm.
she was under 21. They did nothing. They didn't even ever take a report of her being missing.
Wow.
Said she ran away.
Oh
Yeah, they
my
said she ran
God.
away. About 5 days later, a body of a young woman was found, like literally the next house over of where she went missing.
Maybe 100 yards.
Whoa.
Yeah, you
Maybe.
could see the house
Yeah.
that like the boyfriend lived at from where her body was found. But so her aunt and like her family were coming over. They're like, hey, this is what my niece was wearing. Could that possibly be her? They said, nope, it's not your niece. It's someone else. This lady's in her 30s, like kind of just going on. So it ended up taking 2 more weeks where a lot of back and forth. The county coroner also owns the funeral home.
Which is
And-
suspicious.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
Yes. And he had already been in trouble prior for conflict of interest, like making someone pay him before they released the body, even though like the people didn't have to
Jesus.
pay. Like it was
Oh
really
my
shady.
God.
Yeah.
He
What
was-
an asshole.
Yeah. He was on
Mhm.
probation for like a year and he had to
Whoa.
take all these ethics classes.
Oh my God. Okay.
And at one point in like the 2 weeks after they found the body and before the family was notified, they had to like subpoena to get the body back. The county did from the coroner.
He
It was
wouldn't
like-
release it for evidence.
Yes. Yeah. It was just
Oh.
crazy back and forth. Then her mother was trying to go get the remains. Like this is after they finally
Yeah.
were like, oh, just kidding. This is K. Sarah. Her mom tried to go get the remains. The funeral home guy, coroner, told the mother that he could not release her remains unless she was cremated, which went against their
What?
cultural
What?
beliefs.
Oh my God.
Mhm.
Yes. So then her mom, just wanting her daughter back to kind of start the healing process, agreed, but the rest of the family didn't know, and it was a big fiasco.
Mhm.
And essentially after that, they came out with a report, really didn't do much, never asked the family anything, never asked friends anything, came out with a report stating that K. Sarah had a blood alcohol level of 0.147.
9.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I mean, which is nowhere near the limit that you would die from.
Right,
Yeah.
right, right.
Yeah.
It's not a fatal limit by any means.
No.
And she was very athletic.
Oh,
she
she
was
was so
a
athletic.
track star. She ran all the time.
She played
And-
football, wrestling.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Beautiful
she
girl.
very strong. So I and
So
the
nobody else saw
autopsy
the body?
report. I'm
Besides
sorry.
What
the
was that?
coroner? Nobody else really saw the body besides the coroner?
And then there was like 2 officers, 2 deputies that it was a
Called a report.
jogger that was walking by that found it. And this is in a residential area, mind you.
Whoa.
And she was behind a like 5-foot chain link fence that you could see through. And
Right,
they say
right.
her body was there for 5 days.
Oh
and-
my God.
And no one
This
saw
was
it.
And no
in the
one
middle
saw
of
it
summer.
in the middle of summer. So they couldn't
Whoa.
say, oh,
Wow.
she died of hypothermia because it was
Right.
80 degrees out.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
They said she had no natural diseases,
Mhm.
and that's pretty much all that's been released.
Yeah. So no
and
like heart attack, no, she was healthy. There was no physical signs of
anything.
Something happened.
Yes, something
Well,
happened.
apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. This is-
One crazy thing though, like a couple weeks before she went missing, she had posted a video of some local officers, assaulting her little brother that was 15, and he was in a wheelchair.
Yeah,
And she
he's
posted it on
paralyzed.
social
He's a
media.
paraplegic. Mhm.
Ah.
Yeah,
Oh my
like
God.
absolutely crazy.
And it
crazy.
caused a lot of drama in the town. Like they forced her to take it down or tried to force her to take it
Yeah,
down. There was
yeah.
I
a
couldn't find it. I
And
tried
then
was
to
a
she's
find
lot.
it.
and then she's found dead.
And then she's found dead.
Right.
And they won't investigate. They've now someone I can't remember what agency. FBI said they're not going to get involved because it didn't actually happen on the reservation. The reservation was like 2 miles away.
Mhm.
God
Um,
forbid.
Yes, but now there is some other agency, not obviously one of the main ones, just probably a nonprofit that's asked the sheriff if they could take a look into it, and he actually agreed. So I'm like,
Whoa.
okay, well
That's
that's
good
nice.
news. Yeah,
That
yeah.
is
That's
good
just,
news.
yeah,
This
that's just,
happened in 2019, so
So there's really no
wow.
cause of death. They didn't find
Nope.
no gunshot, no stab wounds.
nope.
So were they saying natural
Well, they
causes? or-
didn't write it on an autopsy report. Now whether
What
it
did
was
they put
there or
on?
not.
They
What
said
did they
undetermined.
undetermined? Okay.
Yep, and they say they can tell. What was the wording? I actually have it up. The exact wording from the report. Give me 1 second here.
Yeah, it's
Well, at least the main part of the autopsy. Do-do-do-do.
and where she was found was in someone's backyard.
Yeah, it was
Oh my God.
So it's like
Right
she
In
just fell from
someone's
the
backyard,
sky.
was this house occupied?
yes, it was
And-
occupied.
Was it
So for
some
5 days, there's this dead body in their backyard, and they don't notice it.
Supposedly.
Yes, the
Yeah, I
family
suppose.
believes.
Right.
It just dropped
Yeah.
out of
Yeah.
the sky. So it seems
Yeah.
like.
Mhm.
So this is what the autopsy says. There's no evidence of injury or natural disease. Toxicology testing of blood alcohol level detected. And the presence of ethanol, which could be, the decomposition process.
Yep.
I'm sure she had drinks that night, though, too. But although no neck injuries were detected at autopsy, an asphyxiated cause of death cannot be excluded. At this time, the cause and manner of death are classified as undetermined.
Did it say anything about her hyoid bone being crushed or broken or?
I don't even think they looked. I don't know. Like it's very, very.
I mean,
Basic.
that's
There's not a lot of info there.
that's like 101. I mean,
Yes.
for strangulation, and so it sounds like they
Mhm.
didn't
Right.
look real hard at all. I mean, there should have been ligature marks around the neck.
Mm-hmm.
That
Mhm.
kind of
They
thing.
did say she was decomposing quite a bit
Okay. Well, that
when they found her. I think
5
because it was
days
obviously
is-
warmer up there
Right.
in August. So
Mhm.
just absolute crazy case.
And it's something we talked about, which is a little bit morbid, but Melissa and I talk about it in the podcast a little bit more, that if she was there for 5 days behind this very small wood pile, it
Yeah.
says she was behind a wood pile. There's photos out there of a lady. They had set up a little memorial in that location, as people do. And there's a picture of a woman that's kind of hunched down behind this or in front of this wood pile. And if you're an average, I would say, let's say 5'4" woman squatted down, you're still taller than this wood pile. So it's not
Yeah.
huge by any means.
Right. For sure.
And in the heat,
It
80
smelled
degrees,
Yeah.
Yeah.
if she was decomposing to that extent,
hmm
someone who runs through this neighborhood regularly, the guy who found her said he runs through that neighborhood every day. Is that what he said?
Yeah, he ran
Yeah.
If he
smell.
sees it on day 5, he'll see it on day 4 too.
yeah.
If he sees it on day 4, he's gonna see
That
it
whole
on day 3.
neighborhood, if
This
Yeah,
this comment
it'd be
is
awful.
everything. We've learned more
Hey,
this last.
Pamela!
We've learned more.
I was gonna say I'm really interested in this. Yes.
Can you see my screen or no?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So this is like the corner of the road and she went missing like the next door neighbor's house. And then
What?
this is the fence that she was on, like the inside of the fence.
Mhm.
Like how
Okay.
would you not see that?
Yeah.
Hey, and yeah, Pamela said kudos to looking into this
Yeah.
because this is a massive problem
Mhm.
Yes.
in our country.
There's
like
another
listening
podcast that
indigenous-
we're friends
yeah.
with. Her name is Charlie with Crime Lines. She makes a really big effort to push missing and murdered indigenous women cases.
Yeah.
She's
Uh-huh.
amazing. She covered K-Sarah's case in major depth. She does 7,000-8,000 word scripts. She
Whoa,
goes very, very
awesome.
deep
Wow.
That's good.
on these.
There was a
You need her
lot to
voice.
this case.
Mhm.
I even put one of these in here where you can kind of see. So she was at like 1.4.
Mhm.
I didn't find how much she really weighed, but I would 120 and 140, nowhere more than 140, definitely.
Right,
Um,
right.
So,
So
3,
nowhere,
maybe 4 drinks.
yeah. So there's no way that that's what she died of. Like,
Right, for
Right.
sure.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Wow, that's
Show the wood
interesting. I'll
pile
be
photo.
tuning into
oh,
that.
okay. Let me share
Yeah, let's see that wood pile.
Because it's crazy. It's 2 down, I think. Yeah.
What?
See?
So, like, right there.
Okay.
Now
So
there is a lot of vegetation, so perhaps, and we talk about that a little bit in the episode on Monday, that maybe just because there is so much vegetation, you weren't really looking for it, you could easily miss it. But I feel that there's just too many aspects to miss someone laying there for 5 days.
What a
Yes.
mysterious
Yeah.
place to just lay down and die,
I
Yeah.
know.
right?
Yeah.
Just
I
it's
do
like
see
placed.
there is a lot of vegetation. She's a small woman.
I think
Um,
her aunt said she was like 5'6", 5'7", if I'm not mistaken, because the
Yeah.
aunt was taller than her. Her aunt has a really good video on YouTube and like walks along this neighborhood, like pointing to houses and
Right.
that she was at, or that
Mhm.
kind of had things to do with it.
Now, asking a gross question here, which I kind of mentioned earlier, did anybody in that neighborhood report a stench, a bad smell?
Nope. Nothing.
Now, see,
for-
now that's weird. That's
Yeah.
almost like she was just planted there then.
yes.
Put
And
there
I mean,
to-
that's what her family
because
thinks,
you would have,
definitely.
yeah. Because a case that Garrett and I looked at not too long ago, there was 3 bodies inside a sealed house. Within 2 days, the neighbors were calling saying there's something smells dead, and they thought it was an animal. And the cops entered the house, and there was 3 or 4 dead bodies in there.
Mhm.
So, especially this being outside, or I'm sorry, the body being outside
Mhm.
would have filled that neighborhood up
For sure.
with a horrible smell.
Mhm.
I mean, did the jogger say why? Like when he was jogging by, what tipped him off? Did he actually just see the body and say,
He
"Oh my
just saw
god"?
it as he was jogging by.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like if he saw,
But he
that-
did. But and he runs there. Is it every day?
I mean, he
He's-
ran there before, like within
Right,
that
yeah,
5
yeah.
days.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, show her
that is
picture.
really
Yeah.
fascinating.
Here's.
Show her like her athletic, so you can see kind
Oh.
of. She's a very athletic young woman.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
She was heading into her senior year of high school, and I'm just like,
Wow, man.
That's so horrible.
the one report that authorities did release, they also put in there that, oh, she was drunk at school one time and they had to take her to the emergency room.
They do that a lot. So,
I was like, I want to.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's crazy.
Yeah. She's just.
They'll try to discredit the victim.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we got
exactly.
it. Basically, we got a very healthy young woman
Mhm.
With
who
not very
who
much
should not
alcohol.
have dropped dead from a heart attack or
From alcohol.
alcohol,
Or
lung
alcohol.
lung disease.
But all of that should have been
That should have
notated
been
in
found
the
in the-
autopsy.
For
Yeah, that should have been
sure.
found
And
in
it
the
said
autopsy.
no natural diseases. I mean, they clearly stated that too. And I'm
Didn't
like,
talk to the family.
nope. The family, they've never interviewed the family, asked about her whereabouts or
See, they
anything
did
like
that in the Maura Murray case as well. They never talked to her
In that
sister
autopsy,
for
did you
13 years.
see that was the hyoid bone? Was it intact? Did it say
They didn't note
anything?
it.
They didn't note that.
See, that's weird because I mean,
It's-
any type of body you find, and especially if decomposition,
Yes.
and even if it starts around the neck and you can't see it's strangled, you're going to check for that bone to see if that's been
Mhm.
crushed, give you a cause of death, especially with a young woman who has no health problems.
Unless
That-
you're an a-hole coroner that charges
Well,
people to get their loved ones' bodies
oh, yeah,
back.
that's
Jeez, dude.
or make them
Yeah.
be cremated.
That's awful.
Clearly,
I
this
will find him
coroner.
over a spirit box when he dies someday. We will,
Yeah.
he will be in hell. So
He's retired since then, and then the new coroner was just arrested.
oh
for-
my god, what is wrong with this place?
He was arrested for kicking in the door of someone's house and saying he was gonna effing kill them or like beat them
Wow.
up, and
Oh my god.
Yes.
And they cremated her. Is that right?
they did.
And so we couldn't even do we couldn't bring the body back
Right.
to check for the
Nope.
bone being broke. So
No.
And I think
Wow.
what's most heartbreaking about that is forcing her into this cremation is that's against their
that's
cultural
wrong.
beliefs.
That's absolutely wrong. They had no right to
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah.
No right to
This
do
is
that.
bad news.
I mean,
Mhm.
this is the home
It's
of the
insane.
free. You know, that's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
Wow.
Well, sorry to bum everyone out.
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
I mean it's
But that's
another
what we
one of
do.
those- No,
Yeah.
that is
That's what we all do
Yeah,
when we
that's what
start
we
talking
do.
about crime.
But yeah, it
Man,
was
that
just
one
We're a
was-
weird bunch of people, aren't we?
We
I
are.
know.
There's a lot of us though.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I think we talked about it before. It's like, man, I feel so bad sometimes being entertained by somebody's death. But I mean,
But it's the
but
ultimate.
it's not
That's
that.
why we
To
started
me,
with-
the mystery is the whole obsession for me. Like with this burger chef thing, I want to find out what happened. Delphi, same thing.
But-
Yes.
I want to know who did this.
But
you
Keith,
know?
you say it all the time. We as humans are creators. So for us, we want to know like what created this. Like
Mhm.
what could possibly go through someone's mind
Yeah,
to
what's this-
create taking somebody, 4 people out and killing them, kids, or like with this young lady that was found behind the woodpile.
Yeah.
Like what created the circumstances? So I think it's not so dark as we think. It's not as dark as we think. It's just
It's more of putting
innate-
a puzzle together, I think,
yeah.
and the curiosity of trying to find that
trying to
last
think,
piece.
why the hell did this
It's the
happen?
unknown.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the unknown. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely, man. You know what's crazy? Just because you mentioned this, the burger chef murder is like one of. So there was 3 ways that 4 of them died, right? So 2 of them were shot, one of them was stabbed, and the other one had blunt force trauma to the face and died of asphyxiation on his own blood because his
Wow.
body
He
just
felt well.
Yeah, go
What they think happened is when he had all the people to lay on their stomachs, right? So I think he's reassuring them, "Hey, we're getting
We're just
out.
gonna get out of
We're gonna
here."
get out of here."
Oh,
So they hear
Yeah.
the first gunshot go off. So 2 of them get up. They start running. They think the young man was running
They went
so
in separate
fast in the dark
directions.
that he ran into a tree. It broke his nose, and it was on an incline, so he was kind of almost upside down.
knocked out.
And because of the position he was in, he asphyxiated on his own blood.
If he would have
been, yeah, they said he would have been fine if he would have been on the level ground, or even upward.
Yeah,
Yeah, but it
or
was
even
because,
just missed the tree.
or missed the
Yeah.
tree.
but,
But-
in that adrenaline,
Wow.
But then
panicked state.
Yeah, I mean, you got to think it out in the woods. It's pitch dark.
Oh, yeah.
you're,
He would've ran
you're
into
running for
something.
your life, so you run as fast as
Yeah.
you can. Now, there's some people that think that he was hit with brass knuckles or a chain, and I don't think that, because I think once those guys figured out, oh my God, we've lost control, because the other guy had to chase the girl to stab her while the other guy's shooting and the other guy's running off. So
But my thing about that theory that somebody got around them is that first off, the victim has the jump, so they're like sprinting out. And then the second thing is, like, as a murderer, I would have to not only outrun them but get around him and then surprise him in the
and
dark,
that's not going to
in the
happen because
woods. Yeah.
number one, he's like 16, 17. He's an athlete, this kid.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And these guys, I think if it's who they think it might be, they were probably in their 30s,
Right, yeah,
40s. They're not going to be able to catch this kid. So for them, they didn't know probably till the next. They probably thought, oh shit, one of them got away. We're going to get ID'd. They leave, and then of course they find out, Sunday when they find all 4 bodies dead. I bet they were surprised that they did find that the young man had passed away. But they think he. I mean, God, and the horrible thing is his dad said 2 weeks prior to this, he goes, my son and I was watching a TV show. A child was getting kidnapped, and he looked at me and he said, Dad, if that ever happens to me, man, I'll run zigzag. I'll run fast as I can. And he said, so that's what my son did. But he, unfortunately, looked like he
Just the
met his
craziest-
demise,
the
on
cra-
accident.
The craziest like circumstances in the world.
And
That
to
kid-
even, how weird is it that they were both watching a show together about a boy being
I know.
kidnapped, and he
Ugh.
said, I'll never let that happen to me.
right.
Well,
Well, it's crazy because a lot of times I'll go through the cases we've done and I'll try to like find like a common theme, right? And so like for me, this one, and this is gonna sound weird, I know I always talk about Dalatov Pass, right? But how that was connected to the Yuba County 5. Are you
Right.
guys familiar with the Yuba
Oh,
County 5?
Yes.
that's a good one.
Okay.
We just did a show on that. You need to go
With
watch it.
Drew Beeson.
We had
yeah.
Drew Beeson, the author of the book, was on. It was
Oh,
really
wow.
good.
That
in all-
one
in these-
boggles my mind.
Right.
Too.
Well, in
That
these,
is
in
insane.
these 3 cases, it's multiple people dying of multiple injuries, which is just another thing where it's like, dude, how is this happening? Right. Because in the burger chef, they were shot, they were stabbed. The poor girl was stabbed, and then the kid freaking runs into a tree.
I know.
It's just unbelievable.
Yeah. The Yuba County 5 is it's so crazy that they found that body. He had lived for probably, what they say, 8 weeks and starved to
Yeah,
death
Had a beard,
in a cabin full of food.
Yes.
covered in 8
But you know what
blankets.
someone said? I heard the other day, they said, what if he was killed or died or whatever, and brought back there and they laid him down.
Why would they
Oh.
I don't know.
I mean, same. Okay, so this goes into that
So
scenario.
in other words, the reason he wasn't there to have food, they had him somewhere else.
right.
And so when he died, they've just brought his body back and put him in
Well,
his
this goes
cabin.
back into the placement of bodies, which we've talked about, like the one that you just talked about. Now I see that, right, with the vegetation and stuff, but this came up in the Delphi case quite a bit. And it was something that we constantly were running into this wall where there are people out there that believe that this also happened in the Delphi case. Where
I don't believe that
obviously
at
don't
all.
believe that at all. But remember, early
there's still
and
people
there's
that
still
think
people
that
that think
the Delphi girls were killed and then their bodies were brought back because that people had searched, but they said, well, they must have missed their bodies, and they're like, no, I know people searched in that area.
they know that area,
and
they
they
know
had
that
a
area.
drone, and they flew the drone over.
Okay, that's not infallible.
Yes, there was a drain.
There was
drone.
a
There was
drain
a drone.
and a plane.
Yes, yeah, and they combined together.
Right.
But
Yes.
Yeah.
Drone looking for Brandon Lawson. I mean, there was a plane. Even
Right,
with
Infrared scan, like there was infrared
Yes.
sure.
scanners
Yeah.
looking for
Yep.
Brandon. There's dogs that make mistakes that do
Dogs
that
make
for a
mistakes all
living.
the time.
I mean,
Human
there's
error is massive as well.
yeah, I would trust a dog over a human.
And to
Yeah.
be fair, like a lot of these cases, like if something happened in our community, it would be like me and Keith out there trying to, like we would be a part of the search party. I mean, obviously we're not like the
Hey,
We're
listen.
obviously not as good as these girls,
Exactly,
though.
but my point being is like that's your first time doing something like that. You're bound to
Yeah,
make mistakes
yeah,
and miss
absolutely.
things, right?
Yes.
So
because a lot of it's volunteers. I mean,
thank God.
because they don't want to pay the man hours to get, you know what I'm saying?
No.
So
Yeah.
you get volunteers out there, and they're just
Or
like you said.
You do it like us and don't even tell law enforcement.
There you
Right.
go. There you go.
Man, I'm like really, I'm kind of like, I don't know if you guys know this, but I was also a West Point cadet. So like the Maura Murray case
What?
is, yeah, I
Just
know.
throw
Wow.
that out there.
Yeah.
Wow. Thanks a lot, Whitney.
Yeah.
No,
So-
I'm like in awe.
Like,
Like it's a
that's
good
awesome.
thing. Like
Yeah.
why wasn't it like, hi, my name's Garrett. You want to come on our show? I'm also a West Point graduate.
Oh yeah. I'm
Like
from
that
West
should
Point.
have
Yeah.
been in
My
the
son-in-law's
intro.
West
yeah,
Point.
Yeah. So, but what I'm really intrigued by that. I was telling Keith, there's actually a long history of like mysterious and weird deaths at West Point and with West Point cadets. But going to the point where like she was in a bad kind of headspace, she had been in trouble at Fort Knox. I don't know if you guys saw that. She stole some
Let me
candy.
ask
Yeah.
you something.
Yep. Oh,
Because
yeah.
since you
We
went to
all went to Fort Knox.
Okay,
Yeah.
so your first semester there, I was reading where they said something that they're a little bit more lenient on the new kids that come in, but if you're like a second, third
They
year,
will screw
they
you.
will kick your butt out.
Or
If-
send you
if-
to Iraq or Afghanistan.
Okay, so it's possible that if she had an infraction like that in her first year,
Yeah.
would they not have
Well,
kicked her
so
out?
she was at Fort
Because
Knox.
I heard also that they kicked her out, but then I heard that they
No, she didn't
didn't.
get kicked out. She transferred.
Okay,
You can transfer in your first 4 semesters without any repercussions.
why would you leave West Point though?
I
Man?
know.
Well, it's
Yeah.
I mean it's
Hard.
difficult.
There's
Yeah.
there's a lot of
her sister was
stuff
there.
out there with
Yeah.
Maura that she was in a relationship, things
Bill.
went bad. There could have been potential
Yeah.
sexual assault at some point. There's a lot of theories out there with Maura that she was not doing well at
Yeah,
West
yeah,
Point.
yeah, yeah. Oh, for sure.
Whitney, have you seen the Peacock special on that?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Isn't that good? I mean, because they kind of
Mhm.
covered that. God, they just asked that dad.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Did you
And I
molest-
believe-
did you
I believe
molest her?
Fred. I believe
You
Fred
know.
actually.
And
Like,
I've listened to all of every missing Maura Murray episode. We're good friends with Tim and Lance. Like
tell them I
I've
reached out to them, please. Jeez, man.
Did you? Well,
yeah,
here's the thing.
jeez.
You've got to be persistent with Tim and Lance.
You do.
Let me explain something to you. They used to do this thing on Thursdays called Get Vocal. It was every Thursday. It's kind of like this, a live show. There's a chat room. You get to hang out. It's a lot of fun. And Whitney would be on it every Thursday. Like I would
Every
be in the chat
Thursday.
room, die hard, and I had to hold a grudge against them. It was a one-sided grudge. Whitney's the only one that really knew about it. They didn't know I
Right,
even
for
existed
sure.
about this grudge. And just reach out to them and ask them. They're really good at responding usually.
Yeah.
You
can
did
find
though,
their
didn't
emails.
you?
I did on
He-
Instagram. Hey, if you can, just tell them I'm a West Point guy. Because for me, that was so interesting because I can kind of I can understand the pressure, right?
Mhm.
Like Like even like with her.
Oh,
dad,
even on your first day, remember when you told me that story where they make they give you this long narrative thing and you got to repeat it back or you don't get in.
Yeah, you just can't, they won't let you in. You can like be there for like a freaking day, and like if you don't get it right,
yeah.
The
if
kid
you mess one word up,
the kid had the red stash. Yeah,
so
the red
that's
stash.
too much stress.
You still got people behind you.
Oh yeah, there's
right?
people waiting for
and
you.
so they're getting
There's
pissed
lines.
at you if you're screwing up.
Yeah, but they can't say anything to you because they're not supposed to talk.
Oh my god!
So, but you can feel it, right? There's like this
You
palpable
can feel the
like,
tension.
But no, so I understand like even the pressures of like her leaving and going somewhere else, her sister still being there, her dating Bill, who is then graduated in Oklahoma at Lawton. He was in Lawton, her boyfriend. And so yeah, I just found that like super interesting. But it's another one of those cases where dude, she could be out there. They only search, and I say only a 2-mile radius. I realize a 2-mile radius is actually quite a bit, like but dude, it could just be 500 yards further though.
More.
Right?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And then you get it. And so yeah, it's just one of those.
Well, Ken Maines brought up a good point. He said Maura could have been watching them, and then as she sees the flashlights coming, she's backing up. As they get closer, she keeps backing up. She keeps backing up.
Talked about in the Brandon case with him.
Right.
In the woods watching. You don't want to get in trouble. Because
we know he was doing that.
Right.
We have audio proof that he was doing that.
Yeah. And I can tell you just from experience is like, I don't know why I relate so much with this case with her. I think it's because we went through something so similar, even if she was only there for 2 years. Those first 2 years sucked like so bad, especially for a girl. Like, and she was there in 2002. I was there in 2004. So I was there pretty much like in the same, which to be fair was a really bad time to be at West Point because we were in Iraq. It was like literally on the hills of 9/11, right? And so for me, I'm like watching the documentary and like hearing about her. I'm like, I kind of like feel so bad for her, right? To think that she was just scared to come out because here's another thing I told Keith though. She had vodka, she had Kahlua, and she was definitely making some white
Russians. Yeah,
not necessarily. That's something the Big Lebowski drinks. The dude drinks. The dude abides.
We call those white Ukrainians now.
Oh yes, white. Amen.
Oh,
yes. White Ukrainians. Yes. So, but to me, like, let's talk about what we drink though. You guys love your Cabernet, right? Like, I don't take you guys necessarily for someone that's gonna have 15, because she had enough to make quite a few White Russians.
Yeah.
Right. And so that was always something that was kind of mysterious to me is her trail dies off 100 yards out, which we know dogs aren't the best in the world. Right. But there are houses in that location.
And the alcohol was missing, wasn't it?
Was it? I thought that they had found that.
No, I think the alcohol.
Oh, was it missing?
It was missing from the car.
There was some red wine.
And she locked the door of the car, which is odd too.
As if she, I want to make sure this stuff.
Make sure another one gets into the car.
Yeah. But both airbags were deployed.
Yeah.
So she hit it with some force.
And this is the second car she had wrecked in a very, very short period of time.
Yeah, you got to think about the pressure. Just of that, she's like, crap, 2 days before this, I wrecked my dad's car.
Yeah.
Now I've wrecked another one. I'm
out of West Point.
My boyfriend's dumped me or I dumped him.
Or he may be cheating on me.
Well, they said the email that she left on top.
He said that never happened, though. And he went into that.
I thought they said on Peacock that
I heard, and Whitney, you might tell me if I'm wrong, but from something I've heard is that he actually went in with the cops because he came down. He was like, dude, I got to go look for my girlfriend. And so he went into the room and he claims that there was never a letter left. From what I hear. Whitney, I don't know if you've heard anything different.
I've heard both sides.
Yeah.
I've heard both sides. I can't confirm or deny either way.
You guys think it's possible that just with all the pressure, like again, she wrecked the car, her life's falling apart, or she feels like it is.
She took all her cash out, man.
That's what I was going to say. She took all her cash.
She's on video at an ATM. Melissa and I talk about this a lot. People talk about how you run away. Well, they just ran away. How many people actually run away in this world? How many people want to start over? I feel like Maura was at a place in her life where she could have been so low she wanted to start over.
Yeah.
She needed something positive, and a new start would have been positive. It would have been hard, no doubt.
Do you think she got in the car though? Do you think she had
someone helped her?
I think someone picked her up?
We have no cell service, so we can't call anybody. Do we get in a car with a stranger?
Her friend,
or was there? They talked about a tandem car. Possibly there was, but I don't think there was.
Yeah, but dude, the bus driver saw her. There's multiple people looking out the window seeing her, right? So she would have had to like have a rendezvous point. I mean, I would like to think that she's still alive and well, honestly.
Yeah, I hope so.
I mean, obviously, for obvious reasons. But but it's such a weird freaking case. It's
Do
like,
you-
is she in the portal? Did she go through the portal?
Sorry.
I'm not to
Yeah,
make a
the
joke,
portal.
but that's well. I heard about this case. I didn't even know anything about it. I'm walking through my gym, and a mom yells at me, and she's like, "Hey!" And I like look over. She's like, "Maura Murray case. You got to follow that." And I was like, "Huh?" And she's like, "Yeah, you got it." She's like, I listened to Yuba County 5. She's like, "That's great." She's like, "But this one will blow your mind." She's like, "You got to follow it." You guys. So I started reading up on it, and that's where I kind of was like, "Oh my god, this thing it's like unbelievable true crime."
Yeah, Sue Wainwright. That's right. They did find blood. They found blood on wood chips. They took those to get those analyzed. It did come back human blood, but you were never given the answer. Was it her
There were
DNA?
two. Well, one was Mel, and one was
right.
undefinitive.
But they sure baited you with it by between the commercial breaks going, you might want to go call the police. This is definitely Moore's blood. And they asked her, could this be Moore's blood? She said, yeah, it could be. But of course, they haven't made a match. And by now, I think they would have already found that out if it was her blood.
And they've tested other things. They recently, just a couple of months ago, found bones in the woods nearby. But they were from many years
ago.
Well,
they said it could be between 1774 and 1994.
Yeah.
It was like,
somewhere.
Yeah, somewhere in between there.
Yeah.
Well, dude,
I mean, they've narrowed it down, between 7. That's just 200 years, guys.
Yeah, no big deal. Well, no, it's another one of those cases though, like we talked about in Evansdale, right? Or even in Delphi, where it's like, what are the
Evansdale, the girls?
Right. What is the possibility in this universe that Maura Murray on that night just so happens to be picked up by a mass murderer?
Okay. I'm going to add one to this list.
Okay.
Breonna Maitland.
I don't know a lot about hers either.
I don't either.
Neither. Please.
Similar situation. Car was backed into a barn. The barn's not even there anymore. Same kind of area, same area as Maura Murray. Tim and Lance cover it.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I know what you're talking about.
That's actually part of that, isn't it?
A little bit. Yeah.
We'll talk a little bit about that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But
all
I mean,
in the same area.
The odds of that is just, I don't know, man.
We say that, but look at Richard Ramirez. Look at Israel Keys.
Tell a serial killer victim that, right?
Yeah. No, for
but
sure.
What are the odds?
It's
I
not
what happened to
unheard
me.
Look at Zodiac. Right?
Yeah.
Like in the middle of the day, sunbathing and reading, and then all of a sudden a dude walks out and like
in a crazy costume and stabs you to death.
Yeah. Ties
and
you
then he
up.
flies to Cancun when Texas is out of power.
What do you think, Whitney? I mean, what's
It's a
your
Ted
gut?
Cruz joke.
Yeah, I know that.
Do you
I like
think-
that. Well done, Whitney.
What's that?
She did a Ted Cruz joke
Oh,
because they thought he was a Zodiac.
That's the running joke down here in Texas is that Ted Cruz is the
Ted
Zodiac.
Cruz,
Yeah.
So what's your gut on it, you guys? What do you think? Do you think she disappeared and then started a new
On
life, or
Mara?
do you think she's dead? Yeah.
I don't know a lot about it, but the fact she bought alcohol, she took out all of her money, all of the problems. I want to believe she's alive, and
Same.
this is a case that she did run away.
Yeah.
The only
Same.
thing that like really holds me up on that, and I shouldn't say this because I have actually my oldest brother's an asshole and we don't talk, right, which is really sad. But is that her? And God, this is gonna come out wrong.
Is it the relationship with her sister?
No. It was
Because I think that's the only thing that would keep her here.
Well, my thing is her mom with the cancer, though.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? Is that, but then again, if you're that desperate to come up with a plan to escape, like no matter what, you're leaving everything behind. You don't have a choice, right? You're like, you can't have 1 foot in and 1 foot out of disappearing in this world anymore. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And she never, like, when the mom died from cancer,
she never reached out.
She never reached out or anything.
Right,
and they said that wouldn't have been like more to do that. But
it also
Or
wouldn't be
did
like more,
she? And the mom just kept it a
Hey,
secret.
because you know what's crazy is my oldest brother actually reached out to my grandfather before he passed away, which was completely like baffling to us. Yeah, because he had kind of like disappeared too. Not like this, obviously, but so yeah. Hey, that's a good point actually, because she didn't live with her dad growing up. So
Yeah.
Okay.
So she might have been
I don't
maybe
know.
closer.
Mora is one that I will forever want answers for. I mean, I think it's I would put it up there on the list with John Bonet, all those that you will always demand answers for that you may never get. And I applaud Julie. I will applaud her all day long for what she is trying to do. And I will share her TikTok every chance I can. I will share everything that woman puts out there because she is
Hey,
just trying to find her sister.
Will you do me a favor? Because I'm like really bad with computers and stuff. Will you reply to my emails?
West Point grad.
Yeah. Well, here's what's crazy is whenever I got out and a lot of my friends, because this was kind of the Maura Murray case was kind of the first of the like the Facebook era going viral, right? But I know like when I was in 2004, I was like one of the first like 900 people, or there was not very many people on Facebook at the time. But that all of a sudden like my mom's on there like 2008. I'm like, okay, this is freaking weird. So, but what's weird is like a lot. I'm like, there's like pictures of me like throwing up. I'm like, okay, I'll just take these down, right? College kid. But a lot of my friends kind of like got off there. Like we for a long time were off computers, didn't trust it.
Well, you're not even on Facebook now.
No, I'm not. It's like a time capsule. But so it was like super weird though. It was kind of like that first generation coming through with our case where like got people eyes on from all over the place. So it's kind of just a fascinating that we haven't figured it out yet. So
what do you want me to reply to your email with? That was a long story.
Well, her the
TikTok handle.
Will you send me? Yeah. Because I heard that she had a really good TikTok account and that she's on it, and that's kind of what it takes in some of these cases, right? Family members just a lot of times.
Yeah, and you got to keep it out there.
And this is what is fuel. This is what fuels podcast, right? It's the whole purpose of it is to the more people you're in front of, the better chance that someone that knows something will come forward, that some other people are going to hear something that may know something. That's the whole purpose of talking about it.
Right.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I believe it.
We're already at an hour, but real quick, did y'all hear about, do you know anything about the Adnan Syed case?
Oh.
Did you hear what happened today?
Oh, yeah. Is that from Serial?
Yes.
Dude, is he out? Did they let him out?
Oh,
if only.
closer.
Closer.
You never heard of this case?
I don't know what you guys are talking about.
Baffling.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
Okay,
He's gonna be
Adnan's
obsessed.
You are going to be obsessed.
Start with Serial season 1,
yes,
then immediately shift to Undisclosed and listen to Rabia Chaudhry's coverage of it. She's one of his lawyers. We need to circle back to this because I need to know your thoughts on Adnan. And
for sure.
It's what got, I would argue, 85 to 90% of true crime listeners
First one I listened
into
to.
podcasts.
Definitely. I would agree with that. I would definitely.
Good.
Hey, while we're on it, S-Town.
Oh my God. I love S-Town.
Dude, like,
S-Town's a good one until you get to the end and you realize that it's not true.
What?
Spoiler alert. S-Town is not a true story.
Who says that?
Sure?
S-Town says that.
I have listened to S-Town twice, all the way through. I guess
it's how you look at it, because my wife was kind of saying the same thing. I don't
Really?
It's right. It's true. Hey, don't listen to Whitney, Melissa.
I know. That's gonna break my heart.
Hey, wait. Well, I will have Keith listen to Serial though, because that is, and we should. Hey, we'll circle back around. Maybe we'll have you guys on.
Yes, and we can totally talk Adnan.
Yeah.
Oh, I would love it.
Man, I thought you were gonna tell me he's out.
No.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Wow.
Oh, no. So what did happen today? It's been a long day. They filed a motion to test the DNA that was on Heyman Lee's clothing. They're also going to test the rape kit that was never tested.
Yeah, like how long has this been? Like 7 years, 8 years, 9
no,
years?
17.
It's that long?
He was 17 when he went to trial.
Oh, that was a long. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Now.
Right. Okay. Dude, that is crazy.
How do you not?
It's 2022.
How do you not test the rape kit? And I know, they're like, oh, we have more technology now, but I feel like this really should have been.
Oh my God,
done.
Dude.
I want to know who your English teacher is, because kudos to
where
them.
You went to school.
Oh, hey, that's
awesome.
That's his daughter.
That's my daughter, Taylor.
Nice.
Taylor,
is that your wife?
Was it Miss Patton? Hey, I guarantee it was our
She's downstairs. Probably.
Hey, it was funny because one of her English teachers actually came on our show as a guest when we were talking about witchcraft.
Yeah.
Oh.
I guarantee you it was her.
I bet it was.
Guarantee you.
Yeah,
that was a fun episode.
She was a Wiccan.
Yeah.
Okay, I
She's
googled it and I was wrong. S-Town is real. I'm thinking of a different
God,
one.
I'm so
mad.
I was gonna be so
God.
devastated. I was like, that's like
So
when I found
sorry.
out the Single 7 wasn't a real time traveler. I was freaking out.
So sorry. It was a different one.
Garrett, Whitney, I can't believe
Hey,
you.
at least I can admit when I'm human and did
Yes.
something wrong.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Well, because
absolutely.
it's such an amazing story.
It's an
that's-
a good
amazing.
one.
It's really incredible. It's a really incredible
Yeah.
person. So I'm gonna have him listen to S-Town though. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, Serial. first.
Cereal.
Start with
Yeah,
cereal.
First. Okay.
And then you have to go to Undisclosed. They
Yes.
just released their last episode ever.
Okay.
2 days ago.
Whoa, okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
Start there.
All right.
Thank you for
awesome.
coming on. We
Yeah.
will
Hey,
circle
thank
around.
you so
and
much
we'll-
for having us on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
anytime. And we'll circle back around with you guys.
Yeah.
Because that would
I
be
want to go to
awesome.
Crime Con still. God dang it.
We will be
Oh,
there.
You
You
Vegas,
can use
right?
our.
be there.
Hey, it's in Vegas. If you want 10% off your ticket, just use Cabernet because we will be on Podcast Row.
Oh, I love that.
man.
And
what's the date again?
April 29th through May 1st.
John Benet's dad is going to be there.
Whoa,
Really?
Speaking.
man.
Mhm.
Whoa.
A
I
bunch
was-
of other like
I
amazing
know.
people as well.
I'm
But
sorry.
that one's a big one.
Yeah,
I
that's
freaked
definitely a
out
big
when I
one.
saw that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we'll
And
see
more
you in Vegas.
importantly, we will be there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes,
absolutely.
exactly. Of course. So is Paul Ho's going to be there? I love that guy.
Yes.
Probably.
Yeah, I'm
He's
sure he
almost
is.
always there. And Billy
Yeah.
Jensen.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right. Well,
Awesome time.
thank you so much for
Yeah,
having us on.
seriously,
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming on, and we will
Yes.
see you soon.
All right.
Absolutely.
Bye,
Goodbye.
guys.
Bye. Good night.